B-side in boxing.
B-side shit.
B-side.
B-side.
And the B-side.
You got a B-side.
The B-side.
B-side.
B-side. B-side.
That B-side thing.
This is the B-Sides Boxing Podcast.
Or MMA thing. So, but let's do the thing real quick. This is B-Sides Boxing. My name is Leo. I'm joined by the homies Drip and Shinada. And we are here to discuss boxing. Actual Deontay Wilder, not hypothetical Deontay Wilder. No? Nobody? All right.
Nope.
It's so.
I was trying to think if Wilder had a fight. I was like, I didn't miss something, did I?
No, we're going to talk actual stuff. So, speaking of actual stuff, and Shinada, you alluded to it, Ryan Garcia and his fucking meltdown. Are you able to bring the timeline, bring us up to speed? Because I don't think I know everything.
Well, I just woke up, so I probably missed some overnight for me madness. But how did it start with the complete breakdown? The first one I thought was complete madness was, I'll pay anyone to beat up my girlfriend, or try to.
I'm sorry,
Hey,
what?
no.
What?
Oh, yeah.
That's
It was...
how he put it, but he was trying to get a fight for his OnlyFans girlfriend.
Was
Yeah.
that?
Which,
He put
that
up like some...
It was Misfits, though, right? Like
yeah.
proper boxing that he said he was going to train her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Proper boxing. But I just thought it was really funny.
That is a good way to phrase it. I thought you were like Hitman type of stuff.
Yeah, no.
Did someone come take out my girl?
Yeah, someone take her out.
But the comments on that post were hilarious. My absolute favorite was some guy was like, yeah, for $9 a month, she's my baby too.
That's crazy. I would just delete all my social media and change my name.
It might be time to delete the app from my phone for a bit. Is that all? $9? God damn.
So then there was the press conferences where he
Lord.
paid some bimbos to throw rose petals as he walked out, which is so cringe. I don't even know how he came up with the idea. And then he sat in a massive throne for the whole thing. And then the next press conference, I think he had like a really shitty circus act lead him out with like ring spinning and backflips and shit.
He fucking saw Teofimo's entrance and it's like, I gotta do
Oh,
that.
I hadn't put that together, but you're right. Yeah, and they were just like pretty girls in very skimpy outfits. And he was riding a horse like a 3-year-old.
Riding is a very generous term there.
He was sitting on a horse, and they had given him reins. I went back and looked. They had given him reins, but they had a full-on lead shank on the horse, which is something you do with very small children. And like people who are terrified of horses and trying to get over it. It was so
It's
embarrassing.
like kids at the carnival, right? At our petting zoo.
Like, I think the horse shows I used to go to, you were disqualified if you were over 5. Like, your parents could walk beside your horse until you were 7, but they couldn't touch the reins. Well, just to make you feel better. And if the horse freaked out, they were there to grab it. Like, if you made a mistake.
Got it.
But what else did he do? Then he put up that he was going to marry Devin Haney sloppy seconds. I don't know where that came from.
He was like in love with that OnlyFans girl.
Like 2 days before this.
Yes, there was only like 2 or 3. Yeah, 2 days between. That was ridiculous. I think it was a paid promo for that chick. She paid him to amplify her platform.
Well, either way, it makes him look stupid.
Quite.
Then, right before I went to bed last night, I saw he was in a fight with the internet about how much money he makes, and he was being ridiculous. He's like, I've made $100 million and I'm a billionaire, and just absolute madness. Everyone's like, Ryan, we know how much money you make.
Like the purses are fucking disclosed, dude. I don't know if you know
I wonder
that.
if like Devin Haney's just sitting back like, what the fuck is going on?
He's
Well,
been
and,
saying like this is a disgrace. Like I'm going to beat the shit out of him. He's not focused. I don't even know if I want to fight him anymore because he's not
Really
gonna.
blame him.
He's not trying.
Well, and like, I've always hated Brian Garcia, but
That's pretty rough.
somebody should check on him. And he's got like whiskey throat constantly every time he talks right now.
The hell is that?
Like, yeah, I'm sure in Garcia's case.
I don't know
She
this
is
from
terrible.
personal experience, but yeah, how can we rile it up?
Well, and did you see his handwritten? I think it's supposed to
I
say
couldn't read it.
"might be curtains." Might be curtains.
That's what it said, yeah.
So what? He had a moment of sobriety and clarity.
Yeah, I don't know how somebody hasn't just taken all his internet access and locked him in a room. So, my question for you guys is, if Devin Haney, famously, like, not the hardest hitter, stops Ryan Garcia, do you think he'll finally go away?
If he gets stopped, it would be a strong consideration for him. I think he would go to rehab and come back in like a year or two.
Yeah, I think he'd take a break, like a hiatus.
Yeah,
I think he'd probably just come back as like a like a payday gatekeeper in a way.
he'd definitely have to do some soul searching and really consider what, because like he ditched his family, his wife, his fucking kid
Oh, yeah.
for a stripper.
I haven't even ripped on him for that yet. He made his wife sign divorce papers like literally hours after she gave birth. Same day. She was in the hospital bed and he handed her
Recovering.
divorce papers.
Man, that's messed up.
Yeah, for some stripper, and then he's stealing somebody else's ex-girlfriend, which I don't understand how that would even be a flex. Like,
I mean,
not get the point of that post.
Broner and Polly with the "Don't take my side piece." Don't brag about taking my side piece.
Yeah, that's not a flex.
I know, yeah, I don't get it, but
Well,
yeah.
we'll find out when the fight comes.
So, a buddy of mine in our Instagram chat, which I renamed Ryan Garcia's Intervention Room, is he works with a lot of like Fortune 50 companies as a consultant, so he's pretty good at crunching numbers for this type of stuff. Just on YouTube alone, the estimation is $10 to $12 million in the last 5 years for Ryan Garcia.
That's still a long ways
It
from
is.
100
It is.
million.
And it's a long ways from a billion for sure. And that's before anything else like Instagram, TikTok, or any sponsorships.
Yeah, like I'm sure he's making a lot of money, but
He
also
is.
don't go on Instagram and brag about how much money you're making.
Yeah.
It's just,
He also
he's fucking embarrassing.
called out a
Casuals see this bullshit and think this is what boxing is like.
he called out Jake Paul, and Jake
He
Paul
did.
was like, "All right, cool." He's like, "When do you want to do it?"
I am like 60, 70 pounds bigger than you. Oh, Jake Paul's not great, but he'd fucking wreck Ryan Garcia.
Yeah,
Just
like,
on
weight
size.
classes exist for a reason.
Yeah. But that's enough Ryan Garcia fucking drama. That's going on
Oh my god.
April 20th. There will be zingers throughout. All right, so
Oh, I forgot they're fighting on April 20th.
yeah,
That's kind of funny.
that's great. All right, so our review section is going to go from February 18th to March 2nd. So really quick, Ardrell Holmes, I mentioned he fought on the 20th. He got a stoppage in 2. And in Tokyo on the 22nd. Was this the one that you were at?
Yeah, this is the one I went to.
This was the Ohashi Promotions card at Korakuen Hall. The
Inui came to walk out. I think it must be his cousin. I don't know why else he would walk out with this guy.
Koki Inoue.
Yeah.
Is that Ryan's nickname?
Anyways, I was in the same room as Naoya Inoue.
You were breathing the same air.
I was fangirling so hard from like 12 rows back. It's ridiculous. But
were there any noteworthy fights? Anything? Because Koki dropped his majority decision.
Yeah, that was a good fight. And the 1-2 fights before that, again, all my programs are in Japanese. So I can't really read their names.
Dave Apollinario versus Tanes Ongjunta.
No.
Keisuke
Give me
Matsumoto,
1 second.
Jinki Maeda.
I think it was Matsumoto and Maeda was a bit of a war. They kind of just stood there and punched each other. It was a lot of fun. There was very little boxing involved. And the Koki one, I think the right decision was made in that fight, but the crowd was not particularly happy about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's Naoya's relative, and you're jobbing him in his hometown, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like this is unacceptable.
Yeah, and like I think I've mentioned it before, but Koraku and Hall, they really do kind of ask who you're cheering for when you buy the tickets, and they put you in the right cheering section. So there were competing cheers throughout the night. It was pretty fun.
That sounds really, really fun. I'd love to be in that. It would be cool if
Highly recommend.
If the U.S. or just anyone everywhere else started doing something like that, like you select the section that you want to sit in.
I mean, Canada does it in the CFL a little bit. They have the cheering section and the opposing cheering section, but I think that's mostly to stop fights.
Yeah, probably. Right, so there you go for the Ohashi review. Moving on, 360 Promotions. If you want to check that out, I'll just go to the website and you can see the results there. The one fight that did go through on the Star Boxing Promotions, this was also on the 23rd. Wendy Toussaint was not on it. I didn't see why, but Blake Caparello stops Simone Federici. Rest in peace, fucking guy that they were betting on. And Blake, very much past his prime. This is like low-level gatekeeping, and Caparello has answered the call.
Nice.
So, moving on to the 24th. Taken first is from the bottom up. We had Jonas Sultan stop Riku Masuda in 1. This one I didn't see.
It was fast. It was an absolutely beautiful body shot.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That it like I jumped onto Discord and everything just after that happened, and everybody was like, "Man, that looked painful. It hurt me to see it." Kind of thing. Kosei Tanaka retains his WBO super flyweight title versus Christian Rangel. And Takuma Inoue. I watched this one. This was the one I missed as well. I thought I was going to go to sleep, but I was just awake the whole time anyway. And I missed this one, but I did catch up on it a second ago. Takuma Inoue stops Jerwin Ancajas in 9 to fill the WBA bantamweight title. Or retain the bantamweight title. Another body shot KO, which was really cool.
I love body shot knockouts. Yeah. They're my favorite.
Rarities. I think it might be safe to say that Jerwin Ancajas is done at the top level. And if there's anybody who wasn't sure if Takuma Inoue, if he's just a name, no, he's not. He's very good in his own right.
I was really upset with the amount of people in Discord being like, this is just nepotism.
Yeah, no. Takuma is... If you erased Naoya out of existence... For whatever reason, Takuma is still very, very good in his own right. He's successful in his own right. He deserves the fame that he has. and it's only like it's just icing on top that he's related to a world great.
Yeah, I did feel bad for him. I don't know how bad the English broadcast was because I watched this one in Japanese, but the amount of time spent on talking about his brother and how he's always in his shadow, I was like, guys, this is just rude.
A considerable portion of it was talking about Naoya at first, and as like the fight started going on, they were really highlighting what like Takuma's success with Jerwin.
That's good.
Yeah. So I guess he made some believers out of people. Definitely made a believer out of me. I knew he was good. I thought it was like as to use a cake analogy, I thought the majority of the cake was Naoya, secondhand shine. But that's definitely not the case.
No, he's really good.
Yep. Now, bantamweight. Continuing with that, heats up. Fucking Alejandro Santiago. What the hell, dude? But I guess it should have been telling that he had a war with 40-year-old Nonito Donaire to win this title. And Junto Nakatani, the same guy who sparked Andrew Maloney, he stopped Santiago in 6. This one was great.
I like Nakatani. He
I do
is
too.
always exciting.
Yeah,
That's the guy.
he made a huge fan out of me with the Maloney win. And even as much as I love to shit on the Maloney brothers, but like Andrew was great in that fight too. So it was like a victory and defeat for him. But yeah, Nakatani, holy cow. I was wondering myself going into this was does the power carry up? It's only 3 pounds, but at those lower weights, 3 pounds is a lot. So I wasn't sure if it would carry up for him, and it looked like he got better.
Yeah, like I think Nakatani is more than just the power shot.
For sure. He knows how
But
to use his
that's-
length, for sure.
Yeah, he's pretty tall for the weight class.
Yep. He uses his reach. He uses his legs to set things up. And he does a lot. He mixes up a lot of stuff. He's not in love with his own, like highlight reel, which is good.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's not trying to Deontay Wilder his way through the weight class.
So those are two Japanese champions crowned, or one retains, but 2 Japanese champions. I think not recently they were talking about that Japan has more active champions than like England.
Wasn't it 3? Because Tanaka won. That was a real belt, right?
Yeah, it was a super flyweight title. I was talking about bantamweight specifically, but
Oh, okay. Sorry.
no, yeah, it's all right. But that plays into the larger point that Japan has 9 active champions. I think more than the UK, more than Mexico, Puerto Rico, which are like and Philippines as well. The big boxing countries. I think the only one ahead is US.
Yeah, Japanese boxing is really fun to follow.
So Junta Nakatani, this is BoxRec, so take it with whatever amount of salt you want. Junto Nakatani at the top, Takuma Inoue, Emmanuel Rodriguez, who just fought, I think, last night. Nope, this is a different guy. I'm a racist. Jason Maloney, Santiago, Ryosuke Nishida, Vincent Astrolabio. Like, man, there's a lot of guys here I don't really recognize. As much as I like...
think the Japanese guys are just going to have to start fighting each other.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. I don't know if there's really any other options. Who is the WBO champion? Is that Maloney? Yep. So Maloney is the other one. And IBF. I don't know who that is.
I would like to see Nakatani knock out the other Maloney brother.
That would be poetic. That would be great. Emmanuel Rodriguez is the WBO champ. So 1 through 4 on BoxRec are all the champs. And these guys don't have the luxury of sitting around and waiting for whatever, or trying to like finagle their way into some money fight, because there really are none except for each other. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I like when the champions start fighting each other.
Yeah, that's should be everyone's aim. But moving along to Florida, where
Ugh.
Edgar Berlanga headlined. Bottom up real quick. Yanquiel Figueroa gets a UD over Andy Velasquez. Andy Cruz does not stop Brian Rodriguez. I missed this one. So what do you got? Andy Cruz, homer number 1.
I think he boxed very well.
As
But-
expected.
Yeah, but it's almost like, damn, you can't take this guy out. Like, I feel like just the hype around Andy Cruz was like unstoppable. Like,
He deflated a little bit.
I don't want to say like he kind of like paint him in a bad light, 'cause it didn't. He still boxed beautifully, but it's kind of like, well, hold on, like what can Andy Cruz like really do? Besides, does he have power? Like, so,
Yeah,
I don't know. I still like Andy Cruz a lot. Definitely gonna keep watching.
Yeah,
him.
of course.
But this one kind of threw a curveball for us.
I don't know. I think he just ran up against one of those like indestructible Mexicans.
Of which there are many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it too.
I mean, I think he still looked beautiful movement and shot selection and everything else. It just Rodriguez soaked damage the whole time.
Yeah, I just remember in the Discord, a couple of people were saying like the fight started off great, but it's kind of dragging. It's like it was like almost like it was kind of getting boring at one point.
Yeah, like he was boxing so well that it was boring, which
So
sounds
one-sided.
weird, but yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
that's what it put it.
It was so
He was
one-sided.
throwing lots of punches, but I remember being like, this is boring and I don't know why.
Yes, literally that's the whole like thing about it. He didn't look bad. It's just it wasn't even like a one-sided ass kicking. It was just a one-sided just boxing match. Like it just there's nothing to it. It was just Andy Cruz just
Glorified
beating up some guy. Just
sparring
like,
session.
yeah. And then I think did he call out Keyshawn Davis after?
Yes, he did.
That later. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up after you guys had some time to speak on it.
I think Andy Cruz probably beats Davis.
Yeah,
He will.
He beats him in probably like a more entertaining UD.
Yeah, one of the things that Davis was saying a lot, I think he was trying to posture when he was saying like, why? Okay, so this guy beat me in the amateurs. I'm the silver medalist. He's the gold medalist. He beat me for the gold. Blah blah. He's beaten me multiple times in the amateur days. So why is he coming after me? Why? Like, what is? Like, why is he coming after me? What more do you want? And he kept saying like, make it make sense. Like, I don't get why you're doing this. And so just had to lay it out pretty simply. Was like, he wants to continue humiliating you. That's it. He's
Yeah,
going
pretty
to
much.
he's going to leapfrog you by embarrassing you. And that's exactly why he's calling you out, because he wants to continue proving he's better than you.
Not only did he kick your ass in the Olympics, he's going to kick your ass in the pro career too.
Yep. I'm going to get a title before you. My Olympic medal's better than yours. You're just not in the same arena as me. That's what Andy Cruz is trying to do. Like, what
Dress
do
better
you?
than you. My money's better than you. I
Yep.
run better than you.
My gear is better than yours. The whole fucking kit and caboodle is better than yours. Everything is better than yours.
Well, and the pros and amateurs are a different game.
Absolutely.
If they never did fight, people would always be like, yeah, he beat him in the amateurs, but they never had a real fight.
Yeah, to which I agree to an extent. It's just like 3 times. Like that's I guess you could combine those to one professional win. A 3-to-1 ratio. Still, it's I'm very interested to see this rivalry continue. And Keyshawn's been sort of plateauing, and that's what I'm worried
Clearly
about.
doesn't want this fight.
Yeah, absolutely does not want this again.
Because people always do the opposite. They're always like, the pro game's different. Like, it'll be different this time. And Davis is like, you've already shown you're better than me. And I'm like, that's not how you shit talk, man.
Yeah, that's not how what you say. You should be saying, this is the pros, this is different. Like,
Yeah.
You're not going to have the same advantages. But Andy Cruz, what I'm worried is, did he not getting this stoppage. So he debuted against Juan Carlos Burgos, who is one of those like indestructible types. And so it looks like he came up against another one. Is it the opposition is good, or is he plateauing kind of early? Because he's been accelerated so much. He's on an accelerated track.
You don't need knockouts.
Sure, yeah.
Like, I know everybody wants people to knock out these first few fights, but I think it's showing that he's more skilled than power, and I think that's all he's showing so far. If you put him up against people that are just trying to survive, although I will say Rodriguez wasn't just trying to survive, he was throwing back when he could. But I don't know. There's lots of people I think couldn't knock out a bunch of these Mexican gatekeepers.
Yeah.
I would agree. I don't think he's that I think just competition's getting better a lot earlier on. So
It's a little it's not as easy to be, I don't know, explosive, I guess.
yeah.
Well, and these guys aren't real tomato cans either, I don't think.
They're not. Yeah,
They're at
absolutely
least
they're not.
they're at least like bottles, not cans.
Yeah, there's unopened tin cans. They're harder to crush.
Yeah, they're full. And they're vacuum sealed, so. All right, moving along. Shakram Giasov stops Pablo Cesar Cano in the 11th. I know Pablo Cano. Where do I know you from? I don't know.
I didn't recognize him, I don't think.
Yeah, he's one of the he's been around for a while, and he's always. Oh, that's right. He fucking sparked Jorge Linares, when Linares moved up to 140, and he stopped him in the first round. That's where I remember him from the most.
Poor Linares.
Yeah, unfortunately, that sort of tough guy streak did not continue. I'm not sure who Shakram Giasov is, so whatever. 15-0. Enjoy. Moving up, Antonio Vargas stops Jonathan Rodriguez in 7. Anything on this one? Anything notable?
Nah.
Yeah, I don't remember anything in particular about this fight.
Edgar Berlanga stops Patrick McCrory in 6. I listened to the broadcast commentary to make sure I knew how to say that. Patrick. But
That's just the old Irish version of Patrick.
yeah, you say Patrick, but with a G at the end. It's weird, but whatever. Get after it, Ireland. Okay, 6 rounds to stop a relatively unknown person. This played out, I think, exactly as we expected, which Patrick was a tough guy that they brought in to go rounds with Berlanga, but not necessarily win them or win the fight, period. So I'm not sure what to make of this.
Yeah, I mean, they wanted Berlanga to get a knockout because people were getting not sick of him, but down on him a little bit. I thought McCrory looked pretty good for what McCrory is. I've seen him fight before.
Yeah, just like some bar level boxer.
Yeah, he's definitely European level.
Yeah,
I was surprised when I heard he was fighting Berlanga. So I'm glad McCrory got a bit of a payday. I assume they paid him pretty well to get his ass kicked. And he put up a fight. Like, he was swinging back and stuff.
All right. So to round out, or to end this portion, this first half of the reviews, excuse me, Berlanga, if I'm not mistaken, called out Canelo right away. He's
ridiculous.
He's one of the people in the so-called sweepstakes. It's Berlanga, Munguia, and it seems like Benavidez is out of the running.
I'd rather see Munguia.
Yes, of those two, absolutely. I'd rather see Munguia. I would rather see Berlanga and Munguia fight each other before.
Yeah.
But Benavidez seems pretty annoyed, at least from what I'm reading on social media and stuff. He's pretty annoyed with the whole situation.
Yeah, Munguia would beat the brakes off Berlanga.
Probably.
Yeah, I think so. Unless Berlanga got lucky and Munguia's chin finally cracked. I mean, Mungia's there to be hit, and eventually one
Yeah.
of them's gonna get.
That as your defense, you like your chin strength as part of your defense. It's going to work until it doesn't.
Yeah.
And Berlanga, if it were to crack under Berlanga's pressure, that'd be pretty embarrassing, I think, for Mungia.
I agree, but I also think it could happen.
Yeah, I
Like-
agree with you. You're right. Berlanga's power is decent. It's not what it was made out to be when he was with Top Rank, but that like 15 first round finishes or whatever.
Yeah, that was so
It
stupid.
was obviously ridiculous, and the gimmick cracked immediately when a middleweight fucking gatekeeper was brought up in weight. So I think the talk right now that I'm hopeful that this is what happens is that Munguia and Canelo do like a in-house Mexico rivalry, and that they put it up in, I think Azteca Stadium holds 120,000 or something like that. It's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people.
And I think that's where I would hope that's where they do it, to really give it that theatrical appearance. That's a lot of fucking people. I would want to go to that. I'd really want to go.
I can't imagine that big a crowd in a stadium. I know it happens all the time, but I've never been anywhere close to it.
I've only been to arenas that are full, and it's very different. I would imagine it's very different anyway. Hold on a second. I went to a football game. The only football game I've ever been to was Cardinals versus some fuckery or other, and the arena was not full, and they from what they said, that like the attendance was over 100,000, which is pretty fucking ridiculous to me. It was a good reminder of just how small the sport is. Our sport is anyway.
Yeah. The American football games are madness. I've never been to an NFL game.
It's fun. I would go just to tailgate.
I like attending CFL games, but the rules are different.
I think that Munguia versus Canelo could deliver that kind of atmosphere, that madness for Mexican fans. I'm trying to think what happened. I heard that Eddie Hearn had exchanged some words with Eddie Reynoso, and that put a sour taste in Canelo's mouth.
Oh.
That would be a really stupid reason to not continue negotiating, but that's how it goes, I guess.
Yeah, Canelo seems a little
Proud.
sensitive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Proud's probably a word he'd like better.
Yep. So he would not stop negotiating with me, but I'm sorry, you said sensitive, and your contract's been ripped up.
Yeah.
All right.
I would not be good at negotiating with men, children.
That's going to do it for this first review block of the B-Sides Boxing Podcast. Keep your eyes on the feed. In a few days, we'll have the AJ Ngannou stuff coming out. And then next week, we'll continue the review block and then preview next weekend as well. If you want to get all of this uncut and uncensored and all the rest of it, and you get the whole thing released in one big piece, that's how you would prefer to get it, you can go to patreon.com/lvxmedianet. Hit us up on social media, lvxmedianet. If you can't find it, we're not on it. And the website where you can check out all the other shit that we're getting up to, lvxmedia.net. Questions, comments, concerns, or whatever the fuck. If you would like to have yourself featured on the show, then you can leave a voicemail at 833-LUX-PODS. If you want to text, it can also do that. Either way, it's anonymous, and opt out anytime, all that shit. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. So we'll see you in a few days.